This is Find Your Dream Job, the podcast that helps you get hired, have the career you want, and make a difference in life. I'm your host, Mac Pritchard. I'm also the founder of Mac's List. It's a job board in the Pacific Northwest that helps you find a fulfilling career. One of the best ways to get good at job hunting is to talk to people who do it well. That's why once a month, I interview a Mac's List reader who found a job they love. Our guest today is Joy Reimer. She's the sole recruiter at Century West Engineering. It's an employee-owned civil engineering firm in Bend, Oregon that works across the Pacific Northwest. Joy Reimer believes the job you want may be hiding in plain sight. In a story you can find on the Mac's List website, Joy says one way to find the best opportunities is to look for alternate job titles for the position you want. This will help you uncover jobs that might not appear obvious and that your competitors might miss too. She joins us from Lake Oswego, Oregon. Joy, why do you love your job?
Yes, that's a great question. I work in a company about 100 people, and one thing that I love is the ability to connect with each person that I need. So if I have a IT problem, I can go and I talk to someone in IT, a direct response right away. The collaboration is so strong in the company. Every department's teamwork ability is just so helpful. I've had moments where, as the only recruiter, maybe a career fair is coming up, and I can go, is anyone else, able to join me for this? And I'll get multiple volunteers. And it just reminds me that everyone's goal is the same and everyone wants the best for the company. So everyone helps and pitches in. So I just feel very connected that way.
Oh, terrific. Let's talk about your job search, Joy. How did you first learn about this position, the one you have now at Century West?
Yes. So this is going to sound like a LinkedIn advertisement, but it was a truly poetic experience. I ended up having an interview with a recruiter, and after the interview, we connected on LinkedIn, and I didn't move forward with that interview, but still, having that ability to kind of make that connection and move forward. And then months later, I got on LinkedIn and I saw that the connection had liked a post, and that post was the person leaving this company. Hey, I'm a recruiter. I'm leaving. I need to have someone fill my spot. So by the person liking that post, it connected me to see the opening. So then I direct messaged that person that had the opportunity and got the phone interview, got the hiring manager interview, and got the job. So if I hadn't had that connection, I wouldn't have seen it. It just describes how LinkedIn can be so helpful in connecting you to many people that you wouldn't expect either. So it was amazing. It was just such a great feeling to actually feel seen in that moment.
Yeah, and what inspired you to connect with this recruiter on LinkedIn? Is that a habit that you've practiced throughout your career to connect with people that you meet professionally?
Yes, and actually it was more on they initiated that, and it really helped me realize too, that when you connect with someone, when you talk with them, it doesn't need to be a job opportunity right then. You can utilize that connection later. And one thing that I was at a company, and my manager, the day I started, they suggested to connect with anybody in the company. Hey, send a message, send a connection, and say, I am new to the company. Nice to, meet you early. I'll see you around. And I was a little intimidated by that, but it was such a broadening experience for putting myself out there. What's the worst that can happen? Someone doesn't accept my connection. And I have a relevant reason. I'm at the company. So it really did grow my network, and it really put that kind of key piece in my mind of just because I'm not, moving directly forward somewhere, that could still help me. So that was great.
What kind of LinkedIn habits do you practice regularly? Some people might turn to LinkedIn or other online platforms only during a job search. What do you try to do, Joy?
Yes. I really don't post too much on LinkedIn. I'm not someone that has a bunch of stories to share or things like that, but I really am a believer in finding, connections, finding any type of things in common. If there's a story that someone else posts, I will like it or, share it with someone. Being a little bit of that consistent presence in LinkedIn is very helpful. And, you can really learn more about other companies too. There are things that maybe I see someone from high school that is now at a company, and I then researched that company and I didn't even know it was in the area, or many different things. But really going to a networking event and opening myself up there and going, okay, I don't know if I'm ever going to talk to this person again, but let's connect on LinkedIn. And we just, do that. And then it just can lead to so many other conversations, opportunities. Just putting yourself out there is the main way to kind of feel like you're always on top of it. Because when you're going on LinkedIn in the desperate attempt to find a job, it can feel very daunting, and it can feel like you need urgency. I need to get this now. But if you're always kind of looking, then you might be surprised at, the connections later.
Let's talk more about your job search. One of the things that you encouraged our readers in the article that you wrote for our website to consider is to not focus on one job title alone. Why is this important, Joy? And how did your search expand when you didn't focus just on the title recruiter?
Yes. Oh, I think it's such a great a way to broaden your search, your mind. So yes, I can start my job search by going, I'm a recruiter, type that in word, word, and just say, show me what openings there are. But then, wait, a recruiter does phone interviews. We do help with the background. We help with the job posting. We help manage hiring managers and HR and candidates experience. There's so many areas that we are strong. So typing that into something like ChatGPT and really having it assist me, it's not doing the job for me, but I'm typing in the prompts. This is what I do. This is what I am looking for in my next job. And then it can kind of generate and say, you could be a sourcing specialist. You can be a talent acquisition partner. Oh, based on your skill set, you actually are a specialist. Maybe a recruiting, you could also be a recruiting leader, different wording that I'm not always looking for. And then that opens up so many more possibilities. Even the word partnership, talent acquisition partner, that was different than recruiter. Recruiter could be way more limiting in what my skills were.
All right. So think about what you want to do next, come up with a list of things you enjoy doing, and then go to AI, ChatGPT, or another tool and ask for a list of job postings or job titles, rather. And was that the response you got? Was that overwhelming at times, or was it a manageable list?
It was a manageable list. It was really something that gave me more confidence, because it can feel a little bit pinned into a corner, okay, this is the only opportunity I am qualified for. And then you go online, you see a bunch of job postings that have that easy apply option, and they just don't feel like quality opportunities. I feel like the dead end is approaching me when I see some of that. And then, yeah, seeing the list, it just brought me back to, oh, okay, this is what I'm qualified for. And yeah, I can actually apply to a partner role, or, different areas. So it was more motivating and uplifting rather than daunting.
Well, you mentioned the easy apply button that many online job boards offer. And in your story for us, you encourage people to avoid it. Why are you not a fan of easy apply?
Yes, I feel like easy apply, it could work for some, and there might be people that are like, that is what I live by. I mean, how could anyone not? But it goes against my entire real belief that we need to network, connect, and be in front, and give our personality and really show who we are beyond the words on our resume. So it just, to me, you click easy apply, you immediately are in a massive pool of people, that hundreds, even it'll show you 100 people clicked. That doesn't mean they actually applied, but it's a lot. And if you do something like, you see that, you can do that, and it maybe will generate a result. But I see that and go, how can I make myself stand out more? So I'll go to the website, maybe, if I can, I'll see where I can find the job posting on their direct website, and then I'll apply there. And then that puts you in a different pool of people that can be seen by the recruiter directly in their ATS. Like, they can see less of those applicants because you did do two more steps. You had to go to the company website, find the career page, find the job posting, and apply. But I think that that will make you stand out more than just that one click and then it's gone. And I just didn't have success with that. I think that it needs a little bit more, even a direct message, if you can, that could help too. But
Okay.
yeah.
So go to the company's or the organization's career page if you can. Find an email address or other way to communicate directly with the recruiter. Um, what you've mentioned networking several times, Joy. How can networking make you stand out? Because both, and I'm curious to hear your perspective because you've been both a candidate and obviously you're a recruiter. So what do you see candidates do effectively when it comes to networking to stand out?
Oh, I think that when I see someone reach out, they email me separately, directly from the job posting, they call, I never think that's overdoing it. I think that it just shows such passion. It shows that there's, intrigue. And then I want to be able to help. That is the one thing I also really love is being able to answer questions and find the fit for someone. So networking is just such a big connecting piece. There could be someone that knows someone that I know and hey, I know so and so. They worked with you. It looks like. How did you like working there? And then it just opens up a conversation. And in that conversation, I might go, we have some opportunities here. How about we take a look at what we've got going on at Century West for you? And I can't preach it enough. I just think that we live in a world where we're using AI, and that's great, but it does take away so much personal connection. So networking, going to events, you're in the same boat as everyone. I think just realizing that when you go to a networking event, it's very intimidating, but everyone there is kind of in the same boat. They're looking, they're connecting, they're learning. And so I just think that you might as well. There's really nothing wrong with putting positive energy out there.
Sometimes when people reach out to recruiters, they don't hear back. Did that happen in your search, Joy? And how did you deal with getting ghosted or silence?
Oh, yes. Getting ghosted is so rough. That is the full feel of disconnection. The feeling of closure was really hard to come by with the application process. Definitely would get ghosted after I would kind of expect it. You apply, I would expect not to hear from people. That's kind of the sad nature. But then I've even had it where I went to an on-site a couple times. I would go to the interview, meet with the hiring managers. I've made it that far and I wouldn't hear anything. And that was just so shocking to me. I really had to make sure I channeled in and go, this isn't about me. It's about the process. But I'm lucky. I'm a recruiter. I understand what the process can be, but it can be very, it can be disheartening. You feel like you're doing something wrong. Your resume is completely off. I must have said something terrible. You just go through all of the gymnastics there in your mind. But I really just go back to the origin and go, well, this was not the right one for me. They're disorganized. I don't want to work somewhere like this. And you just have to take yourself away from the attachment you might have felt and go on past it.
Yeah, it's hard not to take it personally, isn't it? But I appreciate the point you're making that if this is the way that employer functions or treats candidates, perhaps that's not a place you want to be.
Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of shows that could be how it would go.
Yeah. All right. Another point you made in your story for us is the power of focusing on small wins in your job search. How did you do this when you were looking for work, and what kind of small wins would you celebrate?
Wow, yes. Small wins would be making, actually it would be something like getting to the next step in an interview or making a connection and it doesn't go anywhere, but really having a great conversation with that person, getting ideas for some other way to apply or search. The small wins is really just staying positive, staying motivated, and being able to identify, I did my best there, getting online and not just LinkedIn, but maybe other ways of browsing and searching the internet and going, I've done my part today. I put in hours today. I put in the most I could. I'm really proud of myself for that. And then taking that break and moving on. And then maybe the next day it'll be, I had a phone interview and I did really well. And I really liked the person I talked to. And then maybe you don't hear anything from that, but you still have that good interaction. I learned how to answer that question better. Oh, wow. That was kind of a hard interview, but now I know how to answer that. And that's a win. So just really sometimes desperately trying to find the win.
Joy, what's your number one job hunting tip?
I would say number one tip is to be persistent, stay positive, don't get discouraged, believe in yourself, message people, network, put yourself out there, go with your gut as well. This is maybe 5 million tips, but really go with your gut. If you are interviewing and you don't have a good feeling, let yourself be heard and just move on, and keep searching for that right fit for yourself.
Thank you for sharing your story, Joy. To learn more about Joy Reimer's job search, visit maxlist.org/stories. And check out the MaxList website for dozens of other success stories. On the second Friday of every month, we add a new interview with a MaxList reader who's found a dream job. Go to maxlist.org/stories. You can support our show and help others find it by leaving a review and rating on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Have a question or suggestion? Email me at mac@maxlist.org or connect with me on LinkedIn. To make sure you never miss an episode, sign up for our free weekly newsletter at maxlist.org/podcasts. This show is produced by MaxList. Susan Thornton Huff schedules our guests and writes our newsletter. Lisa Kislenberry Anderson manages our social media and creates our transcripts. Our sound engineer and editor is Megan Hattie Stahl. Our music is by Freddie Trujillo. This is Mac Pritchard. See you next week.